Hey, Lynn.
Hello there, Clay.
Welcome back to another episode of Fundraising is Funny.
It is, isn't it?
It is funny.
From time to time.
From time to time, because if we didn't laugh at ourselves.
Oh, we'd cry like, tears.
Like real tears. Have you ever had that moment in whether as a consultant or when you work in frontline where you went, somebody should write a sitcom about this, and then nobody would believe it?
Well, that or I'd get kicked off the air.
There is that, yes. Yeah.
I'm a derrière.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say derrière.
That rhymed.
Right.
Get kicked off the air on your derrière. Anyway, so a little friendship co-host quiz. You up for it?
Sure. I love a quiz.
Get to know me.
Especially if they're pop.
A pop quiz?
That's what they call soda in certain parts of the country.
I know that. But did you, just quick aside, did you grow up calling it soda, pop, or Coke?
I'm Southern.
It's Coke.
It's Coca-Cola. If you want a Sprite, it's Coca-Cola.
What kind of Sprite? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, regionalisms. So, your co-host Clay, what do I love as much as I love you, my dogs, my spouse, travel, and snacks?
First, I like that I'm first before your spouse. Hi, Mike. Let's see. Fundraising.
Yes.
Mediocre events.
No, I like the special kind.
Okay. Data.
Data.
Or data.
Data. I say it the way that Jean-Luc Picard said it on.
May the force be with. No. Thing.
I'm
not good at my nerd stuff.
Oh dear.
I know sports ball though, and you don't.
This is true, right? Exactly. We just had a conversation about what's the one with the round orange one? Basketball. Anyway, yes, data. And you know that I come from the prospect development world, prospect research, like data, being data informed. I know you like data driven.
I am. It's the aggressive Enneagram 8 in me. That's just.
I'm an Enneagram 2. I just want to make sure everybody's happy. Are you happy?
Sure. If that's what makes you happy.
Well, see, Enneagram 2, as long as you're happy, I'm happy. If you're not happy, then I'm not happy.
Let's not do this right now. Because I'm an 8.
Okay. So
and I'm all grr.
Yeah, you're a big softie.
Yeah, no.
Data, yes. So I have a story for you if you're ready for it.
I am here for it. And by the way, did you know that Clint Eastwood was also an Enneagram 8?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and Ernest Hemingway.
I did not know that. You know I have to look up 2s now. Yeah.
I'll do it and surprise you with it in the middle of your story.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So I was working, in data, doing the data thing like you do. And at my desk one day, my phone rings, and it's one of our gift officers who's out in the field, outstanding in her field.
And in a field,
literally in a field.
They're tall grass.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's funny. I have a very distinct image of this, and in my mind, it's like this big empty field way out in the middle of nowhere, and the wind is blowing, and
there's a Toyota Corolla rental car somewhere nearby.
Right, exactly, with the door open, going ding, ding.
Oh.
Ding. But actually, it was just outside of the town that she was in, and it was. And she says, "Hey, Clay, I used the profile that you pulled in the information you pulled. I'm out visiting donors.
You pulled, yes.
Yeah, that I pulled, and right. And I'm here at the donor's business. And there's no office. There's nothing. It's just a big trailer park. And I can't find anything specific about this. And
maybe it's one of them, their internet businesses they talk about in the future.
Well, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe there's a main office, or, maybe there's a number, and, all of that. And I'm looking into the data going, and she's like, this is the address that you gave me. And I'm like, okay.
You gave it to her like you gave it to her like a secret Santa?
Well, like I said, here, go, right? No, it was in the profile.
Oh, so it was in the record.
It was not in the donor's record. It was in the profile that we pulled.
Oh, the research profile.
Right, exactly.
Right.
The information that we had in the record was the home address.
And she wouldn't want to just show up at someone's home.
Well, no.
She'll just show up at their business?
Apparently. And that was the thing.
She's like one ex-boyfriend I had once.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
So, and I said, when was the donor expecting you? What was the plan to meet? Oh, no, didn't have a plan. Just had his business address and thought I'd show up and say hi.
Again, that's called stalking, ma'am.
Yeah. So, ethics aside for a second, I'm kind of like, okay, so we provided this information as part of the identification. Like, when you reached out and planned the like, how did that all work? Oh, no. I just thought that this was his business. We had his home address, and this is listed as his primary business. So, I just dropped in. Thought I'd drop
it
in.
into the trailer park these days.
Well, didn't know it was a trailer park.
Right.
Which, actually, I'm like, a little bit of research would have.
So she doesn't have Google.
Precisely my point.
Sometimes it breaks Google.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a whole lot here that I just sort of went, yeah.
That's funny, though, that she just shows up at people's businesses like, I'd like a meeting. Like, just show up at the White House or Buckingham Palace or something.
Or, yeah, exactly.
I'm here to speak with my representative. My name is Karen, and I want to see the manager.
And I don't want to shame I applaud her.
I love a little gumption, but gee Louise.
But I was kind of laughing a lot because I know all of our colleagues in prospect development have had that happen where assumptions get made based on what we see in the data. And it didn't say, hey, this is trailer park, it's just a street address, right? But yeah.
Well, speaking of assumptions,
we
also have to be careful about the demographic data that we're given. Our databases house lots of records,
Sure.
and on those records are, demographics about the people that are charitable to us.
Exactly, especially when we're appending it from third-party sources like
yes.
wealth research.
Oh, well, yes.
Yeah, adding. Now, and listen, I don't know what story you're about to tell, but I am a big proponent of it. It helps.
I think the more information, the better.
I agreed.
Imagine if we had some information at this story that I'm about to tell that really could help us. So you've got 2 donors, both in your database. Yeah, we like generous people.
We do.
They're both male.
Okay.
As far as we know.
They identify as
male.
Okay.
Born in 1948.
I can't do math that fast. Okay, so,
Yep.
but yeah, all right.
Mm-hmm. Caucasian-ish.
Caucasian-ish. Okay.
Right. Both of them born and raised in England.
Oh.
Jolly-o.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope. Pip, cheerio.
In a nuclear family with more than 3 siblings.
Big families. Bigger families.
Bigger, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Both of them are divorced and remarried.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So older, raised in England, both divorced, remarried.
Very successful.
Multiple siblings, very successful.
Grown children, doing well out there in the world.
Okay.
And they're notable people.
Okay.
Let's just say that if you were to know, you would see them, you would know exactly who they are.
Okay.
Business people.
Okay.
Lots of income, liquidity.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Right. They love dogs.
Okay.
That makes you like them more, right?
Well, of course it does.
Right. They ski in the Alps.
Wow. Okay. So this is really good research because it's getting some
Right.
detaily stuff. Yeah.
Now, it doesn't say snowboard. It just says winter holidays in the Alps.
Winter holidays in the Alps.
So we assume they ski or they après ski.
Perhaps they ski like I do.
On television?
No, in the lodge with, little Bailey's, little hot chocolate,
Cool.
Yeah. Because skiing is pardon me for interrupting, but skiing is part of sports ball that reminds me that gravity isn't just a good idea. It's the law.
Yeah. Gravity's tough on us sometimes.
Okay.
I imagine like falling completely over things into the middle of a walkway or something.
This is why I like the lodge, right? With the comfy chair.
And then you have to get on the lift thing and hope and pray. No. All this, we digress, but all of this to say, they also uniquely, both of them live in castles, older castles. Because in England, that's what you do.
So they're raised in, and they still live in England.
Yeah, they still have houses there.
Fantastic.
And like in my mind, in England, you either live in Notting Hill at the Blue Door, like Hugh Grant, or you live in a castle.
To me, you are perfect.
Like a Hallmark movie.
That's a different movie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, or you live in a Hallmark movie in a castle.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we should treat these folks the same. We've got
same age.
Yep.
Same family dynamic.
Yep.
Divorced.
Both giving.
Wealthy. Prominent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winter in the Alps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are 2 peas in a pod. This is great.
I mean, best of friends. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, just peas and carrots.
Clearly, very similar outlook on the world. Very similar lives. Yeah. This is great.
I mean, they both like dogs.
I mean, what's
They're dog people.
Yeah.
One is not a bat person, but a dog person.
Why do I feel like bat person is leading somewhere?
Well, one of them is King Charles.
Okay. Okay.
And
All
one
right.
of them is Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
And they're
Perfect.
the exact same demographic. All of those facts I just told you were true.
Yes.
Chip, chip, cheerio.
But anyway, on that note, I think maybe we should talk about how we would approach these, right? Two very similar people, but very, very different. But I kind of need a snack. Tell you what, let's take a quick break, have a snack, and find out.
We're going to find out.
I love it. And we're back.
We are back. And as I promised, famous
Oh, no.
Enneagram 2s,
Oh, no.
like Dolly Parton,
Yes.
Celine Dion, and Mother Teresa,
Wow.
and Jimmy Carter, of course.
Oh.
But so you're a combo of Dolly Parton, Jimmy Carter, Celine Dion, and Maya Angelou, apparently.
Do you know that I interviewed at Wake Forest back in the day just to study with Maya Angelou?
I met Maya Angelou. It was amazing.
Did you?
So we were talking about demographic information.
We were talking about kings,
and rock stars.
rock stars, and bats.
Kings, rock stars, and trailer parks.
Kings, rock stars, and trailer parks.
It should be the name of this episode.
I think we just named the episode in
I
retrospect.
think we did.
Yes.
And we were talking about how we make assumptions about demographic data. For example, older donors,
Yes.
don't like print, or that if you live in a castle, you must be a king. You can also be a washed-up rock star.
Or a Hallmark prince.
Or a Hallmark prince, right? Or that if you take someone's business address
And just show up.
that might always be not a good idea.
Let me can I just interject for a second?
Sure.
Again, I want to say I don't want to like shame that gift officer.
No.
Because I can hear the prospect development folks laughing, and I can hear the gift officers going, I've done that. So no shame. I think just the suggestion is, and I think this is what you're getting at, is that, a little digging in, a little confirmation. Yeah. How do you approach King Charles and Ozzy Osbourne?
Very carefully.
Sharon and Camilla. Yeah. Do not cross these guys.
No, their women are strong.
Yes.
I just think we tend to look, we may not do enough work on the relationship.
Yeah.
We have an opportunity there to take that information and say, well, that might inform some decisions I make, but it may not inform others. So you've got two gentlemen who were born in the same year, but maybe living very different lifestyles and may have more, what does my dad say about more miles on the tires? Some people have more miles on their tires, but they're the same age as other people,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I just think, we have to think about that when it comes to our data and the assumptions that we make. And, really demographic data is but one piece of information. So in the 4 pillars of the donor experience, the first pillar is called knowing. Knowing your donors. And there's active data, and then there's passive data that we can pick up. Active intelligence, passive intelligence. And we really have to take advantage of all facets of that in order to form and shape. But the most important data we can gather is from the person directly themselves.
So if you were talking to Roger Craver or the fine folks over at the Agitator, right, they would really define this as first-party data or third-party data.
Ooh, fancy.
Right. So I'm a huge fan, proponent, believe in, absolutely support third-party data.
Right.
But the best information you're always going to get on any donor, whether you're talking about at an individual major gift level or whether you're talking at scale in direct mail, annual fund, digital, et cetera, is always going to be that first-party data, what the donor tells you. In my mind, and I'm curious if you agree, in my mind, that first-party provided data is going to get us more towards values and beliefs.
So things that we can't necessarily scratch from the surface.
that, yes, that the demographics are going to point us to some general assumptions. But until we start working the relationship and really knowing the donor, those demographics are just that. They are demographics that tell us they're the same age. They don't tell us, what does this person believe in?
And I think if I were to look at a demographic that told me more, I would look at the demographic of their giving history.
100%.
That
100%.
behavior is going to tell me more about what address they're at, or, you know, what they like to summer or winter in,
That's
or
right.
things like that. And I think, you know, we make assumptions. Like, the biggest one that peeves me is age, because my age has always been different than other people in my group.
Yeah.
And so that one always miffs me. And I also think the stereotypes around age aren't true. You know, I have older parents and they don't fit into those boxes that they're supposed to fit into. And so I think we just have to think about the human being behind the gift.
Jennifer Lopez,
Hi, Chihuahua.
is the same age or older than the youngest member of the Golden Girls was when that show started. Jennifer Lopez is the same age today, right? So if we assume 50-ish year old Latina female, are we looking at Jennifer Lopez?
I'm looking at B. Arthur.
Or are we looking at B? Right, exactly.
Did you also know that Vanna White is 71?
I did not know that.
That'll blow your mind.
But see, again, this is exactly it, right?
Right?
I think the fundamental punchline here is data informs us a direction to go, but we can't operate just on assumptions based on that data. We have to get deeper into what it points us to about the relationship and the values of the donor.
Agreed. And the best way to do that is call or email and schedule an appointment.
Right.
And then visit with them.
Right.
Or Zoom. I mean, it is 2023 after all.
Exactly.
And what happened to Skype?
Skype, man.
Pre-pandemic, I Skyped.
Boy, they blew it, didn't they?
Blew it. They're the Nokia of
Zoom. I mean, it's still in my Microsoft Office Bumble.
Bumble. Bumble's a whole nother category. That's a whole nother
Freudian
show for
slip,
another
sorry.
day.
Yep.
You shouldn't be on Bumble.
It's in my Microsoft Office bundle.
Oh.
But yeah, Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom.
Goes to show you, right? Well, but isn't this kind of what we're talking about, right? We all Skyped before. Zoom took the opportunity, moved into it somehow or another.
Zoomed right past.
They zoomed right past and made it connect to our values.
Yeah.
And Skype kind of blew it. And that's the same thing here, right?
So punchline for today, if we were to bring it home for our listeners, we can't make assumptions based on demographic data.
Right.
But what's the punchline? What can they do? What is the positive spin on this lovely?
Well, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear from our colleagues and friends out there and listeners is over at fundraisingisfunny.com, pop in and tell us stories about how the demographics have pointed you one way, and in getting to know the donor, you learned something different or confirmed something. I'd love to hear those positive stories, right?
Well, and I have one last 30-second one that
do it. Bring
will
it.
crack you up.
Tell me.
I was early in my career and I was filling in for my vice president's executive administrative assistant. And this gentleman walks in the door and he's got on peach shorts, a t-shirt, and a baseball cap.
Uh-huh.
And he reaches out his hand and he goes, "Hi, I'm Teddy." I was like, "Well, hello." Well, his family's name is on 80% of the buildings on that campus.
Yep.
And so she came around the desk and said his full name and said, "It's so good to see you," giving me the heads up of who he was. And I was like, "Oh my." And so they had their conversation and he left and she said, "I was trying to help you out there, girl." And I was like, "I appreciate it. Donors sometimes show up in salmon shorts and t-shirts, right?" But she said, "And by the way, anybody who ever wears salmon shorts, they're wealthy." She goes, "Or any pants with little crabs or lobsters." And she said, "You'll see, there'll be lemon pants, salmon pants, any pant with the color of food. They're probably a trustee."
I love it.
And it was at a school in Florida, so of course she was right.
Yeah, of course she was right.
Right?
Yep.
And so it was a really good lesson.
So share with us your stories about either assumptions you've made on data that have kind of blown up.
All I'm saying is make sure you have your wits about you before you jump in.
And get to know your donors. They're
Get
people.
to know your donors. They are human. Most.
They are human.
Yes.
They are
overall.
human with feelings and caring and values, and that's what we're all here to do is stand in that place where we get to connect them to the things they care about.
Rock on, friend. And if you do get to visit Buckingham Palace, let me know.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, indeed.
That was great.
Good deal. All right, well,
everybody.
from all of us here at Fundraising is Funny, pip pip cheerio.
Uh-uh.